Yo, 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 welcome to the OGPOV universe. We kicking game from an OG point of view. I'm sitting here listening to Paco Panama new album. He just dropped it. Southside Sopranos Volume 2. First of all, shout out to Cocaine. Shout out to D Money. Shout out to Smoke Chapo. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the men. Shout out to DC. I spent some time in DC late last year. Around this time last year, I was down Chicago, not Chicago, excuse me, DC. I was down DC moving around, and DC is an interesting place, man. We're gonna talk more about the album, but DC is an interesting place, as in like you could be on one block, it's $300,000-$400,000 cribs, and then you go around the corner, it's you in the trap, you in the trenches, like. DC, it might be on one block, it's white ladies, walking their dogs and pushing strollers. On the other side of the street, niggas ain't got $10 in their pocket. Like, youngins trapping at the gas station. Like, DC is an interesting place. So when you hear stories like, yeah, like they'll say like, yeah, Nick, we was catching bodies two blocks away from the White House. Once you go to DC, you understand how that's even possible. So yeah, Paco Panama dropped Southside Sopranos Volume 2. I think it was primarily produced by Cocaine. From a producer standpoint, this boy's on a whole nother level, I'm telling you. D Money and Paco, they call themselves the 2025 big timers, you know what I mean? Like, but they kicking that funk, you know what I mean? Niggas just living they raps, this is black culture. It is what it is. You know what I mean? The good, bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to D Money. He got a shout out to Lil Dude too. D Money got a song on his new album, Crack Kills, called Good, Bad, and the Ugly, featuring Lil Dude. D Money featuring Lil Dude. But good to see D Money and Paco Panama. You know what I mean? He has a feature on there. D Money's on there. He wasn't featured on the last two albums, I don't think, but we back in motion. We back in motion. This album has like, I think 23 tracks. 23 tracks with features from Chico Bean. He has some how Chico Bean coming with it. He got the skits on there, you know what I mean? He got legendary skits on this album. The beats are just crazy. Sell You, I think it's Sell You Crazy. He's a producer on there. A couple other guys, you know what I mean? If you're watching this, tap in, let me know who produced on this joint. But this is what DC feels like in 2025. You know what I mean? You can still stand on the corner and make $1 million. At least niggas is gonna try to prove to you that they can. You know what I mean? That's just where they at with it. Niggas still pumping. Niggas still figuring it out. You know what I mean? Niggas still fuck the cops and fuck the law. That's what it really come down to. Running your own movie. Operating outside of the system. It's unfortunate that there are victims, but again, it's the system that we need to be fighting against. You know what I mean? But with all that being said, check out this album. Check out this album. I'm gonna be posting different cuts. I'm gonna be moving around the city. You know what I mean? Shout out to DC. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to Pittsburgh. I'm gonna be moving around the city to this album for a while, man. Like, they've been on a run. GMS, Drop Boys, Paco Panama this year, he dropped 80s crack. What was that crack? 80s crack? 80s crack. He dropped earlier this year, he dropped The Player and the Coach. It was a double disc. D Money dropped Crack Kills, the album. Real life street shit, you know what I mean? High quality street shit. Stay locked into all things OGPOV universe. Let me know if you checked out that Paco Panama new album. Check out D Money shit. Smoke Chapo drop. Like, they on some shit, man. I'm telling you, the DMV for me right now, DC, Specifically, even shout out YG Tech from Baltimore. That's really the only Baltimore artist I really know. DC right now, they got like that Detroit feel, and I'll explain that. The Detroit feel from a standpoint of is like Detroit got their own flavor, their own bounce. You know, the Detroit bounce. This is DC shit. Like Cocaine is leading the charge and really painting vivid pictures of what it feels like in DC right now on the streets. You know what I mean? The go-go shit, that's the thing. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like Wale never had the DC backing, because that's not the true heartbeat of the city, I feel like. You know what I mean? I feel like that's not the heartbeat of the city. I think I'm gonna go pick my son up from school today, early. I should go pick them all up. Just go somewhere. We just go play all day. I think that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, we gonna be bumping. I'm gonna put my sons on. We're gonna be bumping that Southside Sopranos. Go grab that. You know what I mean? Follow Paco Panama, D Money, all the men on Instagram. You know what I mean? Support their shit. Shit, matter of fact, Paco Panama dropped the Player Coach album on, damn, what's that platform called? I forget. It was like a secret platform. They had it had a whole fan base over there. Like, it was a whole community. You got to get back to that. That shit was on there for like, matter of fact, it was on there late last year, 2024, and then he dropped it on all streaming platforms early 2025. But they had like a whole community. Supposed to be some merch coming along with that. I might message him, yo, where that merch at, bruh? I paid for the $100 package, like. But yeah, stay locked into all things OGPOV universe. We kicking game from an OG point of view. He said, usually I sell it, but I got enough to share with you.